Hello, welcome to today's video. We are on pages 44 and 45 of the Alfred's All-in-One Book 2. This is called Minuet and Trio in classical style. We are in C position again. It says here that the minuet is a dance that had its beginnings in France. It was quite popular in the 16th and 1700s that instrumental groups and soloists played minuets to amuse their listeners. Much like popular music is played today. It was mostly played or written for dances, but then it just became a popular genre and was written just to be written. It says here they were played often in pairs, with the first played by a large group and the second played by only 3 instruments. The second minuet became known as the trio, and the name stuck, even when more or fewer instruments played it. The minuet and the trio are always played alternately. That is, the minuet is played, then the trio, and then the minuet again. So this is an example of a classical style piece that was from the old days in Europe. Let's go ahead and clap and count the rhythm first. We're going to clap on our lap. Here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. And we're just going to stop there for now. We'll get to the trio in just a moment. Let's go ahead now and focus on the right hand first system on page 44. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about the right hand first. Place your right hand in C position. Please remember to keep it nice and straight. Keep the fingers curved and the wrist lifted. Here we go. We're starting on beat number 3, G for finger number 5. 1, 2, G, C, D, E, F, G, D, E, F, G, C. Okay, let's try that again. 1, 2, G, C, D, E, F, G, D, E, F, G, C. Now notice the dynamics, what they're doing here. The very first measure, or the pickup bar, has mezzo forte, then we have a crescendo, we have a regular measure, and then we have another crescendo, and then at the very end of this system, the first system, where the C is played, it goes back to piano. There's a subito piano, or a sudden decrease in the dynamic, and we want to observe that change in the dynamic. Let's go ahead and listen to just that one system by itself with the right hand. 1, 2. And notice that when I played the C, I went immediately back to piano. Notice the difference in the articulations, non-legato, staccato. And your crescendoing, non-legato, I would say we get up to forte there and then back to piano. Let's go ahead now and talk about the left hand, beginning on beat measure number 1. We have harmonic intervals starting with the third. These are to be played staccato as well, and crescendo. Here we go. Third, fourth, fifth, fourth is what we're playing for these first 2 measures. 1, 2, 3. Third, fourth, fifth, second, fourth, rest. Second, third, fourth, third, rest. Let's try that again. 1, 2, 3. Third, fourth, fifth, fourth, rest. Second, third, fourth, third, rest. Then, when you're comfortable, remember, putting both hands together means only after having practiced one hand at a time, several times for each measure. And then, when you're comfortable putting both hands together, take it one measure at a time, applying the freezing technique. Let's go ahead and do that now. Ready? Starting from the beginning with this G, mezzo forte, and then into staccato. 1, 2. And then the C played and piano. Let's try that again. 1, 2. Okay, so that's the first system. Let's now go ahead and talk about the right hand for the second system. Starting on E, we have legato for 2 measures, and then we have a 2-note slur followed by staccato, and then 2 non-legato notes. Ready? Here's the right hand. 1, 2, 3. E, D, C, F, E, D, C, D, C, G. And then it goes back to mezzo forte on that G up there for the right hand. Let's play that again. 1, 2, 3. E, D, C, F, E, D, C, D, C, G. And notice it gets louder. Now for the left hand. Here we go. We're going to go ahead and play and say the note name. If you need to clap and say the note name first, please go ahead and pause the video now and do so. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. G, F, E, D, E, F, G. Second, third, 2, rest. Once again. G, F, E, D, E, F, G. Second, third, 2, rest. Okay, very good. Okay, now let's go ahead and talk about the different articulations for both hands. The first 2 measures for the right hand and left, when played together, they are being played a 1/6 apart. And then make sure that you have your spaces in between once the slur ends and for the non-legatos. Here we go. Let's listen carefully. 1, 2, 3. And then with the loud note there, G. Please observe the articulations very carefully. Notice where you have your lifts, which does not mean to add a rest or a beat. It simply means to remove the finger from the key and break the line of music before playing the next beat. Let's try that both hands together. Remember, only play both hands together, 1 measure at a time, only when you're comfortable. 1, 2, 3. Very good. Let's go ahead and listen to from the beginning to that point. Here we go. 1, 2. And then we have that mezzo forte note. Let's go on to the next page, 45. Just playing and saying the note names for the right hand. If you need to clap the rhythm as you say the note names, please pause the video now and do so. 1, 2, 3. G, 2, 3, 1, 2. G, G, 2, 3, 1, 2. C. So we have lots of tied notes. Dotted half note tied to a half note. G, dotted half note tied to a half note again. Back to piano once again. Let's go ahead now and talk about the left hand. We start on the interval of a third. These are staccato. 1, 2, 3. Third, fourth, fifth, fourth, rest. Second, third, fourth, third, rest. And notice those are to be crescendoed. Once again, just like you did for the previous measure, the previous page. Rest. And then we go back to playing these notes. Let's go ahead and put both hands together now for the first system of page 45. Only when you're comfortable, put them together, one measure at a time. Apply the freezing technique if you need to. Crescendo here, ready? 1, 2, 3. And then we go back to piano when playing that C right there. Alrighty, let's now talk about the last system of the minuet for the right hand first. Legato, please. And this looks very similar to what we just did in the previous page, except for the last note is a half note without the G on top, because the first beat of that last measure is at the beginning. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. E, D, C, F, E, D, C, D, C. Again. E, D, C, F, E, D, C, D, C. And for the left hand, G, F, E, D, E, F, G. Second, third, 2. Again. G, F, E, D, E, F, G. Second, third, 2. Release. Let's go ahead now and put them both together. 1, 2, 3. Please keep in mind for that measure before the last measure, do not staccato from C to E. Don't do that. Make it a non-legato lift before playing the staccato D. Please observe that that is a 2-note slur, just like we learned in 5-finger exercise number 3. Let's go ahead now and put both measures together. Actually, let's put it all together from the beginning. Here we go. 1, 2. There it is. Next, we're going to go ahead now and talk about the trio. The first system is with the right hand as so. Let's go ahead and clap and count the rhythm. 1, 2, 3. 1 and 2, 3. 1 and 2, 3. 1 and 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so notice that we have eighth notes. Please remember that the eighth notes only belong to the first beat. Beats 2 and 3 are single quarter notes. Let's try that again. This time we're saying the note name. 1, 2. G, E, F, G, E, D, E, F, D, C, D, E, C, D, G. Let's go ahead and play the right hand. Ready? Remember, we have the slurred to staccato notes at the end. Observe those articulations carefully. 1, 2. G, E, F, G, E, D, F, D, E, F, D, C, D, E, C, D, G. Let's do that again. G, E, F, G, E, D, E, F, D, C, D, E, C, D, G. Very good. And now let's talk about the left hand, starting on measure 1. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Fifth, 2, 3. Second, 2, 3. Third, 2, 3. E, F, E, D. Again. Fifth, second, third. F, E, D. Once you have practiced each hand separately, then you put them together. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so you have the non-legato for the right hand. Make sure that that you maintain the legato for the left. Okay, and take a look at the very first pickup bar of the trio. It says F-P. Now, what does that mean? Well, notice that you have a repeat sign. The trio is to be repeated before you do the DC minuet al fine. So when you do it the second time for the trio, you play it piano, while the first time is to be played loud. Let's go ahead and talk about the next system and clapping the rhythm. 1 and 2, 3. 1 and 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Because of the cutoff note, let's say the note names. E, F, G, E, D, E, F, B, C, E, D, C. Let's go ahead and play these note names. 1, 2, 3. E, F, G, E, D, E, F, D, C, E, D, C, to rest or release. And notice that the second to the last measure is a 2-note slur, but the second note is to be played staccato. Of course, remember when you do the staccato, lift up the wrist when you bounce off the key. Let's talk about the left hand now. Very similar to the first system. 1, 2, 3. Fifth, 2, 3. Second, 2, 3. Third, second, third, 2. Again. Fifth, 2, 3. Second, 2, 3. Third, second, third, 2. Release. When you are comfortable, after having practiced each hand individually, then you will put it together, one measure at a time, and remember to please apply the phrasing technique as much as possible. Here we go, putting the trio all together. 1, 2. You may have noticed that I played the second time at piano. Now, when we have the entire thing learned, having practiced each hand individually, both hands together, one measure at a time, go ahead, we have done the phrasing technique. We have made sure that each articulation is correct when putting hands together. We've also made sure that the dynamics are correct. When we're ready to go, we're going to start from the very beginning. This is a complete run-through of this Minuet and Trio. 1, 2. And there you have it. There is a complete performance of the Minuet and Trio. Please remember to practice each hand separately many times, applying the correct articulations, the dynamics, playing the correct notes, of course. And then when you put both hands together, one measure at a time, using the freezing technique, and then when you're comfortable, go ahead and turn on that metronome. Alright, so then we will see you at next lesson.